This is Nightline.
Tonight, Broadway royalty. Audra McDonald, the 6-time Tony Award winner and star of The Gilded Age.
So there's more to life than work. And Peggy cannot live your life.
And private practice.
I would never leave you alone.
Is back on the Great White Way in Ohio State murders.
But here, race was foremost.
Why she felt compelled to do the play.
It's not only, a murder mystery and an indictment of systemic racism within higher education and in the country.
And the surprising details about the show's playwright.
Nightline. We'll be right back.
Audra McDonald has won 6 Tony Awards. That's more than any other Broadway performer in history. Now she could be on track to break her own record in her latest production, Ohio State Murders. It's a haunting murder mystery about racism and trauma. Earlier, we sat down for a conversation. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are literally Broadway royalty, the first ever to win 6 Tony Awards. And you've said that this play, Ohio State Murders, scared you to death. Why was it that you were drawn to it anyway?
Well, I was drawn to it for a myriad of reasons. One is because I didn't really know the work of Adrienne Kennedy, and she is this incredible playwright, this black female playwright who has been writing plays and sort of pushing the boundaries of what a theatrical experience can be for 70 years. And when I was told that she had never had a play produced on Broadway, and then reading the play and getting to know the material of Suzanne Alexander and this incredible horrific thing that happened at Ohio State, in the play anyway, I just knew that I had to be a part of it and had to be a part of bringing Adrienne Kennedy to Broadway.
And Adrienne is 91, you've become close.
Yes.
And this is the premiere in the newly renamed James Earl Jones Theater, which is incredible.
It feels like kismet, it really does.
And yet, we were talking a little off camera that as a black woman, a veteran black woman on Broadway, you are often the first and the only. What strikes you when you see the diversity unfolding over time on stage?
Well, I'm thrilled that we're seeing more of it. It makes me realize how little there was before. And with plays like Ohio State Murders, I think it's not only, a murder mystery and an indictment of systemic racism within higher education and in the country. In 1949, which is when the play takes place, the memory of it. But it's a cautionary tale to say, let's not make a U-turn and head back in that same direction as we were before. Let's see what systemic racism has wrought and do what we can to erase it and eradicate it. And so that's why.
Is there enough representation on Broadway, or do you feel like there's still a ways to go?
I think there's still a ways to go. I mean, and it's not just, who's on stage, but it's also who's backstage, who's producing, whose stories are being told, and audiences that are coming in. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done with bringing in more diverse audiences. And every day the work is being done, but there's always more that can be done.
We talked about how you were home so much during pandemic, but your husband, Will Swenson, and you are now starring on stage in 2 different productions. He's in Neil Diamond's A Beautiful Noise. What's it like to have both of you starring across the street from each other?
I mean, it's not what we had planned, but schedules work out like they work out. It's been rough. It's been roughest on our 6-year-old daughter. She's the one who's having the hardest time. She keeps saying she wants to tell our bosses that we shouldn't have to come into work. It's also thrilling that we're both on Broadway right now.
What made you choose to do this? I mean, you've also been acting as well in The Good Fight, but you studied classical voice at Juilliard. You are known for your soaring voice. When do you choose to do drama, and when do you choose to do musicals?
JuJu, I pick things based on what scares me. It sounds so strange and morbid and non-scientific, but it's just, for me, it's when projects come along, if it's something that I know is going to make me learn something or evolve as an artist or get a message out there that's necessary, whether it be a musical or a play, that's usually what I choose. And for me, I knew immediately that this piece scared me.
Season 6 just wrapped up in The Good Fight.
Yes.
What was it like saying goodbye to your character?
Yeah.
It was,
and the
show for that matter.
Yeah, it was a wonderfully sort of cathartic show to be a part of for the past 6 years, to be doing The Good Fight, you know, and to play the part of Liz Reddick, and to be able to, a lot of times my character matched up with what a lot of Audra McDonald was thinking in terms of what was happening in the world and in politics. And so for me, it was very cathartic to be able, as Liz Reddick, to say a lot of the things that Audra McDonald was thinking. So I enjoyed that.
Is there a thought that you remember thinking, oh, I'm so glad I get to say this out loud?
Liz Reddick had a wonderful monologue about voter suppression as far as how it affects black people and the fact that it's still happening today. And I got to say those words, and I got to lay out the argument and specific examples of how it's still happening. And so when I finished that scene, I just turned to the writers and I said, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for letting me.
They say be careful when you meet your heroines because they sometimes disappoint, but you do not.
Oh, thank you,
I'm so
JuJu.
pleased to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too, for sure.